Hey, Science Crew. It is recording day, and here we are, many recordings at this point. All right, so I'm just going through your day. You've gone through class-wise, and you've spent some time on that. You're going through Magic School AI, worked on that, and now you're scrolling down to what is social or science, sorry, and what do they need to do. So science is here. You're going to review what the test specs are. I will tell you that the test specs are coming out, and I'm sharing them. You can get them on the MDE website as well under the science page, but I'm just sharing, it's easier for me to do that via my own documents. And so as I'm sharing those with you, you can see the test specs. They aren't super long, but it's going to give you some information just on what to expect. You can certainly see the purpose, the specifications, where you get the science standards, the complexity of those. And so those are kind of like Webb's depth of knowledge. Remember the 4 levels of questions, what the structure of the test will look like. And it's going to give you a little information on the number of questions and points on each level. And so you're going to kind of see that. It doesn't give you a ton here. Here's some references though. Probably less than we've seen in the past. I want you to review those. So I want you to spend some time reviewing those. You're going to look at those compared to what you already created in the curriculum file. So when I pull up the curriculum file, you're going to look under science, go to your grade level and say, is what I'm teaching here reflective on that? And so what I'd like you to do is actually have some conversation too. I know that you might do some of this work on your own, but have some conversation with those above and below you in grade levels, because 6th grade, your assessment is actually on the 8th grade test, right? And we know that 7th grade, you're on the 8th grade test. So we want to know what those things look like. What I also need you to do, so you're going to look at the test specs, and then you're going to align this test specs with your current ELOs, right? Is there anything that you need to change? And you're going to evaluate the assessment as needed, or the ELOs as needed. So when I get here, guys, sorry, I'm all over. I'm going to go back up to science. When I get here, all of these things, like this one, I need to request access to. This topics piece, it needs to be actually in the EVA or the pacing guides that we've shared. So when I look at, I'm not sure, when I click on this, we want to see actually what the ELOs look like. This is physical science. So I want to see what the ELOs look like and what our document is. So I'm going to pull up like a 4th grade EVA. We want to see what this is in what are the ELOs. And this is how it works for a whole district. What are the ELOs? How did I decide it was one? What's the vocabulary, the rigor, the timeline, and the assessment? That for science needs to be worked on and completed. You also need to make sure that you share that with us. If you're saying, where do I get that document? It's right here as an example that you can make a copy of. And it's empty and blank, and you pop it in. It should be copy and paste stuff for you because you should already have it. Okay, so here's an example, but here are the rest of the blank pieces. So you can make a copy and go from there. Okay. So science, that's your work for the day. It's kind of heavy work if you're not ready. If you already have it done, then it should be pretty easy. Another piece, again, you need to, I'm requesting some access as I'm here. A pacing guide is also extremely helpful. We'd like to see a pacing guide on there if that's something that you have as well. Okay, so you should have those in the EVA file. You can see high school chemistry. Whoever created this, I thank you. It should have the EVA. So Mike Trone, it looks like some of this work went all the way through. And then also, it looks like there's a pacing guide that we do not have a specific way that we have to have that taught. Just so you know, if you are on Savvis, you can see just how Mike's pacing guide looks. If you're on Savvis, we should see lots of Savvis things on here. If that's something that you are working off of. All right, crew. Sorry, I'm kind of all over. Okay, so I want you to update any of those in the curriculum documents. Everything has to be, it doesn't have to be necessarily shared with me, but it needs to be live so anybody at Minnewaska can get to it, okay? Make sure that that is done. And if you have any questions, feel free to give me a shout out. Otherwise, some of you, like I said, that should be easy work. Some of you probably have some work to do here. Just make sure everything's updated and ready to rock and that you've taken a peek at the test specs. I believe we have one more year until those are in. All right, again, any questions, let me know. Thanks, guys.